Welcome everyone back to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel and this is my reality. So first things first, I wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys about the interview Dame Dash did earlier this week, from at least from what I could tell. But I saw it this morning when I was on my um errands run doing all kinds of things. And so I'm just now at 12:08 having time to talk to you guys about it. 12:08 a.m. So anyways, um I felt as though Dame Dash was being very careful, very strategic in everything he said. I also felt like he basically amanned or gave credence to what Jaguar Wright was saying about Diddy and the people that Jay-Z, Jeffrey Epstein, and Weinstein all have in common is Jay-Z. Or let me see how did he say it. He said no. Jaguar Wright basically said that there are four people that have Jay-Z in common, or have four people that have Jay-Z in common: Diddy, Epstein, Weinstein, and Jay-Z. She basically was saying this is the intersection of these people. This is how they all kind of connect to the Diddy situation. But anyways, she said that, in my opinion, to kind of like give credence to um I think listen, I don't know what the hell Jay-Z did to Jaguar Wright. I watched one interview where it seems or appeared that maybe he violated her or was violent towards her in some way. And you know, that is the reason she's angry with him. Also, I think it's possible maybe he did something with her career, maybe before, during, or after. I don't know. Listen, everything on Chanel's Reality is, in my opinion, it is all alleged and it is for entertainment purposes only. So let me just go ahead and put my allegedly banner right on up here. Okay. I just want you guys to listen because I feel like Dame Dash gave a lot of, it's weird. I feel like he said a lot without saying it directly, in my opinion, about Jay-Z, and probably more so about Jay-Z than anyone. But I just want to share it with you guys. I put the information to the website and to this video in the description, so you can go to that person's page and watch it directly. Give me 1 second. Okay, I just want to update that to make sure that's there. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and play the video for you guys and let you listen to it. And I'll probably, in between things that he say, comment, because I don't want to just play someone's full other video on my channel. I want you to support that channel as well. And like I said, I put it in the description below. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please hit the like button. If you like the content, please subscribe. And if you're returning, or this is you're part of the replay crew, then also hit the like button. I'm sorry, if you're new, please hit the subscribe button. That's what I was meaning to say. And if you're returning, please hit the like button and the notifications button, so you'll know anytime I go live, if I'm uploading, or if I'm just posting, a video at some point. You'll get a notification of that. And it's a free and easy way to help me grow my base and support the channel. So without further ado, let me go ahead and play for you guys the video that I was watching earlier today. And that talks a lot about Dame Dash's perspective on the Diddy situation.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Before we start, um, I've been told to say, and I'm gonna say it. Everybody, uh, download or subscribe to American New Network on YouTube, and also go to American New on your app store and download American New. It's just as free as subscribing to YouTube, and you can see more of what I'm doing. Also, anybody that wants to sponsor, this is business, and if you want to do that, get in touch with us as well. And this is something that we're gonna be doing for a while. I'm trying to drive traffic to my network that I own, and I'm proud of my work, so I'm gonna stand 10 toes down and fight for it.
I know that's right, Dame.
So my first question to you is, well, you spent a considerable amount of time with Jay, and known to know him well. Do you think there's any possibility that he's involved in the whole Diddy scandal?
So, the fact that he's just in a lot of pictures and he's over there a lot, objectively, you kind of have to wonder. It's kind of hard not to. Like for me, it's a little different because, I once knew him.
Okay,
Not
listen.
in about,
Okay, listen. Listen. This is my first pause, and I have to pause it here because if Dame Dash didn't believe Jay-Z was involved, this is my personal opinion. I don't know none of these people. I don't know. I wasn't there. But my opinion, out of him being asked what his opinion is and if he thinks Jay-Z is involved in anything like that, and his answer is not no, he doesn't have to say yes. At that point, his answer, if he doesn't say no, he is inadvertently saying yes. I'm not saying he's saying yes to everything, but he didn't say no. So to me, that lets me know that you believe, in my opinion, Dame Dash believes what is being said about Jay-Z on some level. I'm not saying he believes all of it. But if someone asked me about a best friend that I had that I grew up with, and we made millions of dollars and we created a whole record label together, and we solid, we day ones, right? We have this whole big life because we believed in each other because we met, right? And then my friend is somehow entangled or involved publicly with some other really, really, really bad downfall of another person that's in the same industry with us, but he's some sort of way entangled in that. Um, I'm expecting my friend to say absolutely never. Chanel would absolutely never be involved in anything like that. Y'all gonna have to show me the evidence, show me the footage. That's that's how I would expect someone that I'm rocking with for 20 plus years. We built a whole industry. I'm sorry, a whole record label together. We got our cake together. Like that's what I'm expecting to come directly first thing out of your mouth. Absolutely not. Chanel would never be involved in that, and vice versa. But I'm gonna let y'all finish listening to the video. But that's the first thing that jumped out at me. Y'all let me know in the comments if that also jumped out at you.
20 years. And, I know Puff. So it's like the stuff that I'm hearing, like even the stuff that's already been admitted, like, the pause, the freak off parties. It's like shocking to me the reality of that was going on and I didn't know. So right in this moment, like almost anything is possible. Like I would hear certain rumors and they were just too far fetched to me. But the accusations that are being made, they're beyond the stuff that I was even hearing about. So again, I would hope that he doesn't and was not involved in any of these things, just regardless to whether they were illegal or not, just morally, it would be shocking to me, and I'm sure to the rest of the world, if he gets caught up in that. But the way they're painting this picture on TikTok and virally, and a lot of the things that are being said often, it's hard not to trigger suspicion. It's just natural.
So, what are your thoughts on Jaguar Wright being mentioned all over national news?
Well, again, like for a long time, or at least I would say like the last couple of months or year, at least a year, I've been seeing on social media and TikTok, like bodyguards and, Jaguar and different people saying extreme things. But, it just seemed like it was just at social media. But when it goes to a national outlet like that and pop culture, number one, I think about it as a businessman from like my perspective. I'm like, I know how many people and how many deals that I didn't do because of people being afraid of what has been said in the newspaper. Whether it's true or not, people just don't like any exposure when it comes to big business, because most of the time it's not that person's money and they can't mess it up. They might get fired. So you play it safe. When someone gets on a national platform like that and it's said where everyone.
Shop Famous Footwear today and save up to 50% off boots at your local store or famous.com.
We know that potty training can move to its own rhythm. And pull-ups has
that's not really good for business. I don't see how anybody would be able to continue to do business with someone after those kind of accusations are made. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I guess now he's going to have to regulate that. Like, I know just from my personal experience how bad that is for business. And for defamation, when you go into court, you have to prove that you lost money, and whatever money you lost based on what that person said, if you could prove it to be untrue, then they're responsible for that. So just to me, to forget about popular opinion, just for business, I feel like, I'd be surprised if that's not regulated in some legal way. And if not, then that's going to make me really curious. Now, the things that she's saying, the thing about her is like sometimes there's a lot of truth to what she's saying based on my personal experience. I'm not going to say she's completely accurate all the time, but some of the things she said were things that I was actually thinking, but I was like, I could never say that because people would say I'm hating.
I think that's a very poignant perspective, considering the fact that Dame Dash and Jay-Z were seemingly like, I would say besties on some level. They were in business together all this time. They knew each other. And I think Dame Dash, on some level, probably feels like everything comes into question, because if I thought that you were this person over here, and then now you're over here playing with the devil, and I find out you're really closely entangled with the devil, it makes me think and question every single interaction that we've ever had. Almost really to the point is, was our relationship, whatever that might have been, actually ever what I thought it was? or did it progress? Did it change? Like, it's just, I feel like if I was him, those are the questions I would have. But the fact that Jaguar Wright has been on in these YouTube streets for several years, basically saying Jay-Z is bad news, and most recently that he is worse than Diddy. That's what she has said on her platform, allegedly. Um, if that's the case, how are you co-signing? To a certain degree, I feel like he co-signed what Jaguar Wright. He gave credence, in my opinion, to what Jaguar Wright was saying when she was on Piers Morgan and other platforms. So once you do that, you can't really walk that back. I don't understand how he could walk that back, but I find that interesting because personally, just still listening to Dame Dash throughout even this entire interview, feels like he still is hurt and heartbroken about their relationship ending the way that it did. Jay-Z and Dame Dash. I think he's still heartbroken about that. It's just he doesn't have that same spirit that he had, I feel like, and that same what's the right word? Smoke that he had before. If you guys ever watched The Breakfast Club and Dame Dash was on The Breakfast Club, he ate DJ Envy for breakfast. Legit, pun intended. Okay, he did, and I was watching this like, oh my god, and I had because I had never really heard Dame Dash speak about anything really, and when he was tearing into DJ Envy, I was like, oh my god, he ripped this man to shreds. Um, so it's interesting that Dame is no longer the same mogul he was when he was ripping DJ Envy to shreds. And also it's interesting that DJ Envy found himself entangled in a whole bunch of seemingly fraudulent circumstances with some other guy. But that's another story for another day. So let's just get back to what Dame was saying in this interview.
But I know for a fact that, you know, the thing she said, like the thing that the thing they all have in common is, you know, R. Kelly and Puff and the Weinstein and Epstein. I know that my personal experience with the Weinstein, that I walked away, and, you know, I did pay in full with them. And because it ain't like I have to see somebody doing something so extreme and dark that, you know, that's what I wait to walk away. There's small indicators, like if you're robbing people or you're talking to people bad, I don't want to be a part of that, so I'm not working with you. But so I walked away from Weinstein, and then homie did do business with him. When it came down to R. Kelly, there was a conversation had about the moralness, like it's morally wrong to do a project with someone that we know raped my girl or raped anybody for that matter. So I do know that that conversation was had, and I was really surprised that he moved forward with that relationship. I don't know Epstein, so I never had the chance to walk away from him. But I do know that when that project did come out, I didn't want any part of that project. I didn't want any of the money to go to Roc-A-Fella or me when it came to Roc-A-Fella. It was around the time that Jay was trying to kind of separate himself from us. And he was saying that he didn't want to be a part anymore. And we resolved that issue with, look, if you want, because he wanted me to dilute and he wanted Biggs to dilute. And I wasn't diluting because I know what I mean and what I do for business. And Biggs was ready to dilute, but our OG Deuce from St. Croix kind of stepped in and was like, that's not right. And that's how we resolved it. The way we resolved it was, yo, you keep all the money from that project. I don't want no parts of it. The best of both worlds. So again, I mean, that is true. But, you know, I just think that I think homie has to answer some questions right now. That if he doesn't, it just, you know, again, it's going to make people ask more questions. And me as a person that knew him, you know, I'm very curious to know
Okay.
the stuff that they say about Aaliyah.
Let me say this too. So I also find it very interesting. I think it's very telling that he says that, you know, basically everything that's going on, Jay-Z needs to or has to say something about it. what's interesting is that's the same exact thing that Jaguar Wright said. She basically said, Jay, you got to come up and you got to say something. You must say something. Period, point blank. She said it in a more aggressive way, but she still said it. So I just feel like, well, I think to me that says that Dame Dash feels the same exact way, or on some level agrees with majority of the things that Jaguar Wright is saying about Diddy and all of those other people, with the exception of Epstein, because he said he didn't know Epstein or never met him or something. And Jay-Z and Diddy, they all, to me, him saying that gave credence to what Jaguar Wright said. He just said it in a different way, in my opinion. But there's that. Oh, hey, Carmen. Carmen says, I guess Dame is right. Is light. What is that? I guess, did you mean right or light? But he played with Aaliyah as well. What do you mean by he played with Aaliyah? And the reason I ask that is because they both, in my opinion, well, Dame said it. He said we both was trying to get at the same girl. He was trying to get at Aaliyah, and so was Jay-Z. But at some point, I guess Dame won that fight or won that battle, whatever it is, or whatever they want to call it, of let's see who gets the girl, because Aaliyah obviously chose him. But I honestly think, okay, it's a little different, but it feels similar to me. I honestly feel like Jay and Dame Dash played with her on some level, only because they knew what she had already been through. Even if they didn't know all of it, they knew what she had been through. And I think they knew way more than the general public knew what Aaliyah had been through, because obviously they're in her circle. They're in the entertainment industry circle where people are in different rooms and don't say things. Like, that's why we have the whole Diddy situation now, in my opinion. But I'm sure all kinds of people told them different things. I'm sure they saw a videotape and all of those things. So, but then at some point, Jay's trying to get at her, Dame's trying to get at her. It feels like, since both of them were much older than her as well, it still feels icky to me. But I will say this, at least from what it appears that Dame Dash and Aaliyah really loved each other, because I think they were engaged, if I'm not mistaken. I think they were engaged, and I think she really, I think she really loved him. I think the love was mutual, but that's just my opinion. Carmen says, he knows a lot about Diddy and Jay-Z. Jay-Z background. Yeah, exactly. Carmen says, I said, oh, okay. Got you. Okay, let's finish listening.
I mean, I'm human. And when I look at things, like, again, a lot of things are weird right now. So I'm reflecting a lot. So I'm thinking, I'm like, well, homie might, he was salty a little bit because he was trying to get at Aaliyah and I was trying to get at her. But, and I know that there are people that benefited from her death. But for me, when I hear these conspiracies, I'm like, how could they be that powerful that they could get a plane or someone to crash a plane? Like, then they just be, I don't want to say I'm underestimating people, but I don't give people like that. That's like, yo, that's the most illest gangster shit. Some Pablo Escobar, you could actually get a plane to crash. And then, I hear a lot of rumors about me, like I sacrificed her and some dumb shit like that. All those things. It's hard to, like, I don't want to believe that, but it does make me think it through, So again, in this moment, just because there's so much gray area on a legal level, not what I'm suspecting, but like you know,
What do you
this
think?
shit is now real. Or if it isn't real, people are gonna have to prove that it's not real. And it's a moment where I'm curious. But if any of that is true, like I'd have to talk to a therapist because I don't know what I don't even know. I can't even like I don't even want to go down that kind of a rabbit hole.
Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me.
It's just too crazy to think that me as a regular dude was in something that was just, you know, so dark, evil, and so strong and Paul's powerful that shit like this could even be almost a reality. Like I'm here. Like why am so yeah, it's kind of ill, you know, to see the things that affected your life in such a big way for people to have different variations of what may have happened for someone that I love so much. Like, what would I do if I find out that somebody actually intentionally did that? I really don't know. But it's definitely a weird, you know, it's like, I know that this isn't a regular circumstance and I try to keep things in perspective. But yeah, like when a dude that really cared about someone hears any story, of course they going to think it through, and especially like a person like myself who thinks in boss in general and in war. Yeah, I don't know.
So during the whole law firm's press conference, they revealed that Diddy allegedly drugged people, and this is including minors, with horse tranquilizers, leaving them unconscious until the next day. And often they were saying felt soreness in their private areas. Uh, what's your take on this?
When I heard that, um, pause. My mind was like blown. Um, so you know, again, you think of things on different levels. So one level is that shit can't be true. He couldn't be that dark. That's bananas. Pause. Like it's just too dark. And you think, well, damn, 120 people is a lot of people. But even if 1% of that is right, it's crazy, unforgivable. And then I'm thinking, well, shit, that lawyer, you know, he has a pretty solid history, and it would be pretty embarrassing for them to expose themselves in that way and be wrong. And then I'm looking at they got the number while they were doing the press conference, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So to me, I'm like, if it's not true, then they just put a hit on him because there's nowhere that he can be where messing with little children is tolerated on any level. It's just an unforgivable thing where we're from, regardless of what you've experienced. And you know, then I'm thinking, okay, if he did do that, well number one, I'm thinking what they said, from what I understood, is that 120 separate lawsuits. So that means there's gonna, like, every single day for at least 120 different days, there's gonna be a different lawsuit with different people. And I'm gonna be like, yo, this shit is gonna blow my mind. And they're gonna drag this shit out. And then they're saying they're going to release names. And now I need to really know these names. But then I'm thinking, all right, let's say this shit is true. Number one, it's beyond pause. It's like demon pause, which is when you see demon pause, you don't even play with that person no more. It's like, what do you do? And I'm like, if that is the case, that's pure evil. That's like devil worship. And people have been putting him on a platform for 30 years straight. And some people knew, but I guess the general public did not. So does that mean that everybody that went to his party and that celebrated him, if that's true, does that mean they were celebrating evil? Is that a form of, like, you know, unconscious devil worship? And what was really disturbing to me about that was that they said that the pattern was they put stuff in people's drinks and then they would pass out and wake up sore. And number one, I'm like, wow, how many times have I been in an environment where someone tried to pass me a drink and I didn't take it? And now I'm like, who was trying to line me up? And I think, pause, that it's justified and warranted to reflect, because I was around these people and I didn't know they played those games.
Okay, I just want to stop it there real quick to clear up a few things. Well, you guys can help me clear up a few things if you can in the chat. But like, I can't. He continuously says throughout the video, pause, and I'm not sure if he's saying pause like PAUSE, like put something on hold, or if he's saying pause like PAWS, like Lil Scrappy from what was it, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta or something. He's like, I'm gonna fight you, put pause on you. Or is this some sort of old school lingo or maybe a cultural lingo that I'm unfamiliar with when he's saying this word? Because he constantly is saying it, kind of like someone's constantly saying no Diddy or something. I'm not sure exactly, but if y'all know, just put it down in the comments, let me know. And then the other thing too is I think he said earlier something about Diddy possibly being essayed or sexually assaulted, whatever, at some other point in his life. And because of that, you know, if Diddy is bisexual or gay or whatever, then maybe him being sexually assaulted is the reason why. So I'm going to say this. Listen, people do not turn gay because someone essayed them, sexually assaulted them. Just like people do not turn heterosexual because someone sexually assaults them. People are sexually attracted to whoever they're sexually attracted to. Period, point blank, end of story. Whether or not they act on it, that's a whole nother story for another day. But you don't become gay because someone essayed you at any point in your life. It doesn't matter what point it is. How you emotionally feel or sexually drawn to someone has nothing to do with trauma in that way. That doesn't mean that, and this is just my personal opinion. It doesn't mean that because someone was sexually assaulted you when you were younger, that it's influencing your sexuality. I will say though, it does influence. Once you have an orgasm, you can't go backwards. It's just not a thing you go backwards from. You always are going to desire that, right? But I don't think that's going to make you desire a man over a woman. Personally, that's just my personal opinion. I think if you're a heterosexual woman, you're never, no matter who did something to you when you were a child, you're never going to be like, oh, now I'm attracted to women. Nah, if you still like the D, you like the D. That's pure point blank. So you're not going to switch me from being heterosexual to gay or to bisexual or whatever the alphabet people choose to call themselves. That's what I call them, alphabet people, because they keep adding letters and I can't keep up, and I just want to be respectful. But that doesn't change. Sexual trauma doesn't change your sexuality. You like who you like, regardless of that. Now, does that mean it changes who you interact with sexually? It could. It could, I think. But it doesn't necessarily mean, in my opinion, that you are no longer, if you were going to be heterosexual from the beginning, I think you're always going to be heterosexual. Doesn't mean that you don't dibble and dabble and play and whatever, in my opinion. But we have to separate that, because I just don't think you need to put that on people who are SA. That behavior that Diddy's been playing in for 30 years, in my opinion, has absolutely nothing to do with someone's sexuality. This has to do with someone allegedly drugging people, giving people horse tranquilizers, and all these other things to be able to take advantage of them and be able to disarm them. They can't do anything if you got them halfway knocked out. And be clear, Dame Dash, at some point in this video, he says something like, now I'm kind of looking around at the people that I took drinks from, or, that one time I was drinking something and I felt away. Like I've never felt this drunk before. He's going to talk about it. That's why I encourage y'all to go directly to this person's YouTube channel. They have a YouTube channel. I think it's also supporting Dame Dash. I think he's somehow a part of that YouTube channel or connected to it some sort of way, because he said that at the very beginning of the video. But I put that in the description. So if you want to go watch that and support their channel, please do. But I'm going to carry on. Let's see. Carmen says, symbolic for hands. No, I know that. What I'm saying is, I'm not sure how, in what context Dame Dash is using the word. That's what I'm saying. I don't know which is which. Does he mean pause? Like I said, what's that guy's name? Oh God, he was on Lil Scrappy. He said pause, but he's talking about like literally putting your hands on somebody, physically hurting someone. And then the pause could mean put yourself on pause, or I don't know what context he's using it in. So that's what's confusing to me. But when he said demon pause, conversation demon pause, right? I was like, yo, what the hell is Damon talking about? Carmen says, well, I have a friend who was SA'd from a very young age and age by all men. And that was what eventually grew. That's what he eventually grew to be attracted to and form penetration his desires. Okay, so I get what you're saying. I'm not, I understand 100% what you're saying. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying only this. Whatever people are attracted to, they were going to be attracted to. Someone coming along and so what I'm saying is I don't think that this is my opinion, personal opinion, that your friend changed who he was attracted to because of that. I think because I've heard people say, they were SA'd as a child or whatever the case may be by men and women, or typically, usually by a man, and they're female. They, even if they got SA'd by multiple men, all the ones that I know, I can say that, or that I've met over the years, even in my work, none of them have said, oh, well, I switched to being a lesbian because I was SA'd by a whole lot of men. I could see how they don't want to have that type of sexual experience anymore, right? Because obviously it would traumatize them, but maybe it triggers them. So I don't want to be triggered. Therefore, I'm not going to have, sex with men anymore. Although that would be my preference. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I think that part can happen, but I still think that whoever you're already attracted to, you're going to always be attracted to that person, that type of whatever that was. So regardless if you were attracted to only men and you were a man, or only women and you're a woman, or both, I don't think it changes one way or the other because you have a different sexual experience or that someone violates you. I think it could be difficult to get through. That part, I 100% understand how you would close down, shut down, and be like, no, I'm not playing in that part of the Zoom anymore. I do get that part. And I do think, but I'm not that person. I'm not your friend, so I can't speak for them. That's just my personal opinion about it. I'm trying to show you the next comment. I can't see it. Oh, he was young, from 2 years old to 5 years old. Wow. See, that's the kind of stuff I would be in cell block C for sure. If you did something like that to my child and I found out, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be in cell block C. Somebody, listen, I can't even say that on I can't even say it on YouTube, so I'm gonna just leave it there. No, I get it. I get it. You know what? Tyler Perry said something years ago on Oprah because Carmen says he was young. Oh no, she says he tried to have a girlfriend and it wasn't popping for him. So I get what you're. That's what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying, but hear what you're saying. You said he tried to have a girlfriend. So I'm sure he probably tried maybe because of religious reasons, maybe because of appearance, meaning people don't accept you if you like boys and you're a boy or girls and you're a girl. I do get it. And then you just kind of come back to the other side because you're just kind of like this is more familiar. But um I remember Tyler Perry said years ago he was on Oprah. He was on an episode of Oprah and he was talking about how he was sexually assaulted when he was a young boy or at some point during his he was a minor. I'm gonna say it like that. And what he said to Oprah was, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something about because he said a woman did it too, not only a man but a woman. But he said that your body still has a response, which I do believe in that, right? You get aroused. Um, but he said his body was, I don't know if he said deceiving him or something to that effect, but basically, because he got aroused in both scenarios, he felt like it wasn't his natural response, meaning kind of going back to what I was saying. He felt he was trying to say to Oprah, had this not happened to me, I my natural response would be only to women. But because I had people messing around with me at a young age, my body's going to respond. So it's sort of like look at it like this. A tongue is a tongue in the dark. That's the way I see it. So if you're a child and you're in the dark and you're a man and someone's jacking you off or giving you a blowjob, whatever you want to call it, and you don't know if it's a boy or a girl, your body is still going to have the same response, which is, you're going to get aroused, you're going to have an orgasm, whatever else. So that's my point. If it was happening to you in the dark and you never saw this person, you're still going to have a response to it. And if you never saw this person, but they're still violating you and your body is still having an orgasm, it can be confusing. But if no one, if you don't know if this person is what their gender is, meaning what their biological parts are, then your body's responding to what's happening to it, not necessarily who. So that's really more or less what I'm coming from. They're gonna like what they like. They like that feeling, and it doesn't really matter who's doing it. But if you have a whole lot of trauma around a person that's doing it, so if you actually can see that person in the dark, so to speak, then that adds to your trauma. Now you see who is doing these things to you as a child, who is violating you. So if you see that and you see that over and over again, then I think it influences possibly your decisions. And I wholeheartedly think it can confuse you for sure. But let's be clear, people are confused about sexuality all the time anyway, and they didn't have to be touched to still be like, I'm not sure. I know I like boys, I think I like girls, or vice versa, or whatever. And then maybe they lean harder into liking boys or lean harder into liking girls at some point because you grow, you decide what you like, what you don't like, who you don't like, who you're more drawn to, who you're not. But that trauma definitely can inform people's decisions, especially pain. So anyway, I went on a little tangent, so I apologize. Let's get back to what Dane was saying.
And it's another level of gangster. So again, I ain't got no problem with people being gay, but if you're pretending you're gay and you're a gangster, that's gay gangster. And you could get robbed of your
How did he
money,
just create a new
but you also can get robbed of your manhood. And that's a whole nother level.
So this is the
disrespect.
part that I feel like is sticky. When Dame Dash, this is the part where I feel like he can get himself in trouble if you're not careful. When he says you can get robbed of your manhood, people who are male and are gay don't feel that if they don't feel that anyone's robbing them of their manhood if they're having gay sex, whatever that might be. So I think it's a little slippery when you say now you're robbing someone of their manhood. But I'm not a man and I'm not Dame Dash and I don't know. So, but I'm just saying I think it could be a slippery slope to say something like that because it's indirectly saying that if you're a man and somehow you're gay, then meaning you're doing it the way that gay men would do it, whatever that might be, then you're not a man. That's what he's saying indirectly. And I don't even think intentionally at all. But I do think that's truly how he feels inside. He's saying, oh, I don't have no problem with gay people. But I think everybody says that now. That's just my personal opinion. And especially if you're going to say it on a platform where someone else is going to take it, snatch it out of the air, copy it, and it's going to come back to bite you later. You have to be conscious and careful with what you're saying, especially when you're saying it in a public forum. I wish people would just be honest. Like, how sidetrack. I can't stand Donald Trump. I don't like no parts of Donald Trump whatsoever. I like him when he was president. I don't like him now. But it's like, if a lot of times people would be like, oh my God, he's such an embarrassment. And I agree with that too. And we don't need to let other people in the world see this man be completely asinine, because then they're associating that with us and we're not like him, this and third. And there's a lot of credence to that. However, I'm happy as hell that this man has a microphone on Twitter, on all of his social media, and he's saying this shit out of his mouth, because now I know exactly who you are. But if you get to say it behind closed doors and it's not said out loud, then I get to pretend, or I get to still remain under the assumption that you think just like I think. In 2020, 2020, that election let me know a whole bunch of people that I know do not think like I think. They do not have the same values that I have. You can't possibly have the same values that I have if you are voting for a man to go into office who said on videotape, and he's been known to say all kinds of things that are beyond problematic, but he said on videotape out of his own mouth that, he's okay with basically saying a woman. Oh, if he said it on that I think it was Entertainment Tonight. Yeah, they'll let you basically sexually assault them if you're rich or if you're famous. He admitted to it. He admitted to sexually assaulting women because they allow him, quote unquote, to do it. It's like, are you serious? Are you dead serious? And he dead ass serious. But this is the thing. I'm glad he says it out loud. Say it out loud, because I know exactly who you are. It's the people that hide behind it and pretend and smile at you at work and act like, and they don't give a shit about you or your plight, and they think you ain't nothing but lazy and this, that, and the third. So I'm happy that people say shit out loud. Because one thing about Black Twitter, listen, they are gonna find your ass and where you live and where you work and everything else. They can put you on blast. But anyway, like I said, back to Dame Dash. I just think he needs to be careful with what he's saying, because I don't think he is aware.
And I'm thinking, I'm remembering when I was on Drink Champs, and then again, I have to think this. So Nori, don't think I'm beefing with you, but I just have to reflect. And I was on Drink Champs, and Nori was so adamant about me drinking Ciroc.
No, I can't do that no more.
That was yours, man.
It's over, because
No.
Not the interview. Come on, Dame.
How about this? We'll finish it with a shot of some.
Can you show Elliot Wilson for me? Well, let's take a shot of vodka.
If we're done,
let's take a shot of vodka, Dame.
Are we done though?
But
vodka.
Well, I mean, I know it's needed, but
I'll do another one.
You gotta do a shot of vodka. Come on,
at
please.
the end, we're not done.
I fucked with you the whole night. You haven't won.
I said when we finish, we're not done.
No, Tito, help me. Come on.
He's clean, bro.
I'm with you. I'm in with you. Can you pour me a shot too, Dan?
But why you gotta put the ice in the shot?
Because you gotta be sophisticated.
All right, you're gonna have ice cubes. I don't know. You're gonna have to do a shot with ice cubes.
Yes, you gotta do a fucking shot with ice cubes.
Big shout out to
This
Puff,
is good
man.
shit. Oh no, that's good. That's good. I'm sorry. All right, and you gonna take a shot? Let's take a shot, Ciroc.
Go ahead, pour it.
Oh, you want me to pour you? He's a gangster. When a nigga tell you he want him to pour you a shot, that's some gangster.
I just poured yours, right?
All right, well, we even. Look. You gonna take mine? Oh, look at that. I'm in. Let's do it. Eye to eye. I told you.
What do you mean? Why you think it's not?
I don't know why I keep doing this show. It's not proper. I don't know. I went to Runyon Canyon today, and I was like, why did I do this? Like, what did I accomplish?
Can I take the ice cubes out? I never took a shot with ice cubes.
But you're in my world now. That's not gangster. You got to do the whole thing.
Because what's crazy to me is if his hustle is putting stuff in people's drink, he made a liquor. I mean, that's the illest shit in the world, that everybody was partying and you don't know what was in that drink. And if he was, pause, undercover gay, because I didn't know it, and obviously if he was knocking men out and they were waking up violated, he's making somebody gay that doesn't want to be gay. So I'm like, what was in them drinks? And then I'm starting to think like, damn, when did hip hop start to lose its masculinity? When did dudes, and again, no disrespect to nobody, but like tough niggas started wearing dresses and pocketbooks, like maybe that could be the reason. And I'm just thinking it through. Like maybe that could be the reason why hip hop took a turn for the feminine, because that shit, if homie was really putting shit in people's drinks and he's making the liquor, and again, I don't know, and I'm not even saying it to be funny, but they saying, homie was putting shit in motherfuckers' baby oil. So how could you trust that person to serve you drinks at such a big scale? So I'm remembering Nori so adamant about me taking a shot of Ciroc, and I'm like, nah. And I brought my own. And now y'all can understand why I always want to make my own. So I brought my own liquor. You know what I'm saying? I was taking shots of my own. And then what happened, I made him take shots of Ciroc. And then he ended up getting too drunk, talking about take your shirt off and all this type shit. It's on tape. So it ain't like you just naturally start to think of things. And then I was thinking, there was this one time that when my daughter was 16, Jay had a show and my daughter wanted to go. So I'm like, yo, I'm not going to deprive my daughter. So, I hollered at Jay, sent the kite and told him I wanted to go to a show with my daughter. And they accommodated me to the fullest. People were really surprised to see me there, took pictures with everybody. But, and again, Emery's my brother, so I would hate to think that he was fucking around like that, pause. But he kept passing me somebody. That was the first time I had tasted that Douce, and I got ridiculously drunk to the extent, and my daughter and I were talking about this the other day, that I was like, yo, I don't get this drunk. Why am I so drunk? And I ended up, pause, wrestling with Kevin Hart. Poor nigga got me in a chicken wing. And I remember Vaughn taping that shit. And I'm like, yo, why you taping, Vaughn? So I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, because homie makes drinks too. And again, just if this is true, these are the things that I'm like just reflecting on. And if I wouldn't have played everything completely by the book, complete honor, then I could have been compromised. And what would have happened if I ever woke up feeling some kind of way? Compromised. What would I have done? And then I start thinking, I'm like, yo, homie's really a gangster, because that whole time, like after the first Cassie case came out, and he was just out smoking a joint, dancing, like literally to the day he went to jail, he was out in the park. Like you would have never thought a person had all those problems. Like I couldn't have handled that. So what it led me to believe is like, yo, things could be going a whole nother way over there. You'd never know. And then I'm like, how does he keep everybody so quiet? Because nobody's saying nothing. Whoever was down is keeping it real. Like y'all could keep a secret because I don't know who's what. And I'm like, well, I guess if you got something on somebody, then they won't say nothing. So for me, just hearing the depth of that and the fact that they're putting, homie in it, I'm like, again, if let's say all this time you thought somebody was the truth and that they were perfect, and you fought for them and you argued for them and you celebrated them almost sometimes to the degree of worship. And then all of a sudden you find out that everything you thought they was a lie, and that you've been promoting a lie, and that you've been promoting evil. Even down to, let's say, not this situation, like a conspiracy theory that you really believe in your heart is real, but it turns out to be the purest form of evil. Does that mean you were unconsciously celebrating the devil? That you were the one that was spreading and fighting for the word of evil? And if that does become the case, will you have the accountability to say, yo, I was bugging? And the people that you saw that were fighting for the right reasons to protect you, will you even acknowledge or have any accountability for that? And what this situation has done is it's really made me celebrate my life and appreciate my problems. So in my mind, every day I'm waking up, like we went to the supermarket just now. I was like, yo, this is fly. I could just go to the supermarket with my son and my girl and Tia, and I get to wake up. Like yesterday, last night, we went to see London. A star is a chef out here, and her son plays football. And we went to go see him play at a high school. And I've been to the Super Bowl a couple of times and took jets and did that whole thing. And you could ask Rocky, I'm like, I hate that shit because it's just such a hassle. I had more fun just going to see someone that I know play football with my family, with no headache, no security. Way more fun. It was easy to get drinks, stuff to eat, than each and every time I went to the Super Bowl. It's really made me appreciate the choices that I made. Like the fact that I didn't have to see things get so dark to know things were wrong. What's up, buddy? Just got to do that, huh? Thank you.
I love it. It's a real nice.
Exactly. Like the fact that my son could just walk up, it's a dream to me to just be able to raise a child. Can you let Daddy finish this, please? Can you? Let's go.
How does he have?
Let's go. Daddy's working right now. Can you go over there? Go ahead, Mom. Thank you. This weekend,
I love it.
I was able to broadcast my first pay-per-view fight on American New. And I'm a fight fan. So that in itself was a big deal for me. But being able to actually ref the fight that Shane Mosley was fighting in, meet his father, the people I've been watching most of my life fight. And, he's a legend. Being able to ref, being able to commentate, I got to commentate all on my own network. Like, to me, that's iller than going to a Canelo fight and being in the crowd, even if it's front row. I had such a good time. Freeway came through. We were in Chester, PA. The mayor picked me up from the airport, took me to an art district. It's like what I learned and what I'm learning from this experience, just this whole thing, is like, no matter what, there's always going to be some degree of a competitive thing going on between a me and a Jay and a Puff. I mean, it's just, that's what men do. And my thing was always like, yeah, they look like they're ahead of the game. And it appears that way, but I just never thought that they did it the way I felt like it would be a win. And in my mind, I'm like, only way people are going to understand this is if I get as much money as they have and have as much stuff as they have, but I have to really make some real money my way. So regardless to what, it'd be like, until I get to a certain level, and that's why I'm going to keep investing until I do, they're ahead of me. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
But like in this moment.
So I'm gonna stop it right there. Like I said, go and check out. I put it in the description, but go and check out this person's YouTube channel to watch the rest of it. It's only maybe another 15 minutes, but I am now at 1 hour and 1 minute, and I have things to do tomorrow. But I appreciate everybody that stopped by. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. If you are returning or you're a part of the replay crew, please also hit the like button. If you're new, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Remember, everything on Chanel's Reality is, in my opinion, it is for entertainment purposes only. It's all alleged. I have to say that as a good faith person on YouTube. But thanks, guys. Please hit that like button on your way out. Hit the notification button if you like the content that you're receiving. So that way you'll be notified anytime I go live or if I upload a video. It's a free and easy way to really support my channel and its growth. Till next time. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Chanel's Reality.